Hello, so here's another idea pertaining to a different way to get to space from Earth's ground, basically from the ground on Earth all the way up to space. I kind of got this idea from watching, I think, one of those universe shows. I can't remember which one it was, but I thought it was a good idea. Basically, the idea was that they would have like a space elevator that would be traveling from the Earth's ground crust all the way up into space, where you'd have like some sort of space vessel, kind of like a satellite, but it might just be something different that would basically just be traveling around the Earth at a constant speed, velocity, and height relative to the Earth, and the elevator would just be connected. It would go up and down, as an elevator does, and from the space vessel to some specific location on Earth, you could have some rope, some wires, whatever type of material would work best, but it'd obviously want to be a pretty strong material, and it'd have to go a long range, 62 miles at least, to get all the way up into space. So you'd have this strong rope-like material that's traveling from Earth's crust, or the ground which we stand, all the way up into space. And the elevator would travel along this to get up to space, and at the top, when it reached the very top, that's where this space vessel would be, that would be going around Earth basically at its constant speed, velocity, location, and everything. So that it's straight enough in a way to get up there. As far as the space vessel goes, I think you'd want the space vessel to be electric powered as it's traveling around in the space-like atmosphere. Well, in space is where it is, because I don't think combustion type engines or anything like that would work in space, because combustion engines require oxygen to run, and in space you don't have oxygen, so I don't think that a combustion type engine would even work in space. So it'd have to be electric or some other sort of power that is not combustion, basically. So as this space vessel is traveling around Earth at its constant velocity relative to Earth spinning along its axis at a similar velocity, which basically the space vessel would need to match the velocity that the Earth's axis is rotating around itself. It does a full rotation every 24 hours, so it would need to match that, and that would probably be one of the trickiest parts of having this thing, is having all the specific fine details of the velocity, the altitude, and having everything like that line up so that the elevator is going up a straight path. So that would be tricky to do. I mean, it might not be impossible to do. I think electric stuff, it seems to be more exact in how it works as opposed to combustion, so that is one advantage of electric things. I think electric cars, in comparison to a gas car, from what I've read, they can be more specific about speeds they're going at, and they can just be more exact about different elements pertaining to speed and that sort of thing. So it could be possible, but it's just an idea for a future way to get to space where you would essentially not have to use rockets at all if you didn't need to, so that would save costs of having to use a rocket each time, even though Elon apparently has made a reusable rocket, so that definitely saves cost. So this is just another element that just could be added to the arsenal of space tools to get to space, basically. In addition to the things they have going on right now, it's just another possibility for getting people or equipment or whatever they wanted to get up into space, because then they could, maybe make a base on the moon. I think would probably be the best place to make a base, and then you could experiment with space and see how it reacts to different things and that sort of thing, and that leads to innovation and inventions and stuff, doing that sort of thing. That's pretty much how everything got discovered on Earth, was just by experimenting and messing around with different stuff, and that led to different technologies. But we haven't really done that in space because it's just really hard to get to space and live in space, so we really don't know what we can do in space, really, especially in comparison to Earth, because Earth's atmosphere and space's atmosphere are completely different. So the way one thing works is kind of irrelevant to the way something else might work in space, because they have two completely different atmospheres. Thanks for watching.